The Iranian president wrote a letter to the American people yesterday, and I think that the timing was interesting. First of all, a very well written letter, very poignant in my opinion. But I think that the timing of that letter, along with the other world leaders who felt the need to address their countries and the international community in advance of Donald Trump's little 9 p.m. yesterday address, meant that something was brewing. So they were all expecting, and they had a very keen understanding that something was going to happen at this 9 p.m. address that took 19 minutes and said literally nothing. He said nothing different than he always says. All he did was bloviate for 19 minutes, saying the exact same shit he says when he's rambling on at these press conferences or nothing different. So I really would like for you guys to hear this letter in its entirety and not piecemeal. All of these publications are reciting it piecemeal or picking and choosing. And I think that it's really important to hear it in its entirety, okay? And I'd also like to know what we think everyone was expecting from the Orange yesterday. Anyway, I got to get through this fast because I don't want to run out of time. Okay.
Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, welcome. Remember to like, subscribe and share this channel, and also remember to leave a comment. So today we talk about this open letter that was sent by Iran to the American nation. Remember, full credit goes to the original creators of these videos. So guys, watch these combinations to the end and I'll be back with more comments. My name's Idaf Moons. This is strictly for educational purposes.
Compassionate, the merciful, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. To the people of the United States of America, and to all those who amid a flood of distortions and manufactured narratives continue to seek the truth and aspire to a better life, Iran, by this very name, character, and identity, is one of the oldest continuous civilizations in human history. Despite its historical and geographical advantages, at various times, Iran has never, in its modern history, chosen the path of aggression, expansion, colonialism, or domination. Even after enduring occupation, invasion, and sustained pressure from global powers, and despite possessing a military superiority over many of its neighbors, Iran has never initiated a war. Yet it has resolutely and bravely repelled those who have attacked it. The Iranian people harbor no enmity toward other nations, including the people of America, Europe, or neighboring countries. Even in the face of repeated foreign interventions and pressures throughout their proud history, Iranians have consistently drawn a clear distinction between governments and the peoples they govern. This is a deeply rooted principle in Iranian culture and collective consciousness, not a temporary political stance. For this reason, portraying Iran as a threat is neither consistent with the historical reality nor with present-day observable facts. Such a perception is the product of political and economic whims of the powerful. The need to manufacture an enemy in order to justify pressure, maintain military dominance, sustain the arms industry, and control strategic markets. In such an environment, if a threat does not exist, it is invented. Within this framework, the United States has concentrated the largest number of its forces, bases, and military capabilities around Iran, a country that, at least since the founding of the United States, has never initiated a war. Recent American aggressions launched from these very bases have demonstrated how threatening such a military presence truly is. Naturally, no country confronted with such conditions would forego strengthening its defensive capabilities. What Iran has done and continues to do is a measured response grounded in legitimate self-defense and by no means an initiation of war or aggression. Relations between Iran and the United States were not originally hostile. and early interactions between the Iranian and American people were not marred with hostility or coup d'etat, an illegal American 1953 tension. The turning point, however, was the intervention aimed at preventing the nationalization of Iran's own resources, their oil. That coup, because heaven forbid anyone wants to use their own resources to enrich their own country and their people, okay? That coup disrupted Iran's democratic process, reinstated a dictatorship, and sowed deep distrust among Iranians toward U.S. policies. This distrust deepened further with America's support for the Shah's regime, its backing of Saddam Hussein during the imposed war of the 1980s, the imposition of the longest and most comprehensive sanctions in the modern history, and ultimately unprovoked military aggression, twice in the midst of negotiations against Iran. Yet all these pressures have failed to weaken Iran. To the contrary, the country has grown before the Islamic something stronger in many areas. Literacy rates have tripled from roughly something today, from 30% to 90% maybe. Higher education has expanded dramatically. Revolution to overt advances have been achieved in modern technology. Significant? I can't read it. So healthcare services have improved and infrastructure has developed at a pace and scale incomparable to the past. These are measurable, observable realities that stand independent of fabricated narratives. At the same time, the destructive and inhumane impact of sanctions, war, and aggression on the lives of the resilient Iranian people must not be underestimated. The continuation of military aggression and recent bombings profoundly affect people's lives, attitudes, and perspectives. This reflects a fundamental human truth. When war inflicts irreparable harm on lives, homes, cities, and futures, people will not remain indifferent toward those responsible. This raises a fundamental question. Exactly which of the American people's interests are truly being served by this war? Was there any objective threat from Iran to justify such behavior? Does the massacre of innocent children, the destruction of cancer treatment pharmaceutical facilities, or boasting about bombing a country back to the Stone Ages serve any purpose other than further damaging the United States' global standing? Iran pursued negotiations, reached an agreement, and fulfilled all of its commitments. The decision to withdraw from that agreement, escalate toward confrontation, and launch two attacks of aggression in the midst of negotiations were destructive choices made by the U.S. government. Choices that served the delusions of a foreign aggressor. Attacking Iran's vital infrastructure, including energy and industrial facilities, directly targets the Iranian people. Beyond constituting a war crime, such actions carry consequences that extend far beyond Iran's borders. They generate instability, increase human and economic costs, and perpetuate cycles of tension, planting seeds of resentment that will endure for years. This is not a demonstration of strength. It is a sign of strategic bewilderment and an inability to achieve a sustainable solution. Donald Trump has said this himself, that you're going to get yourself into a war with Iran if you don't know how to negotiate, if you're fucking stupid, is what he said. It is not also the case, is it not also the case that America has entered this aggression as a proxy for Israel, influenced and manipulated by that regime? Is it not true that Israel, by manufacturing an Iranian threat, seeks to divert global attention away from its crimes toward the Palestinians? Is it not evident that Israel now aims to fight Iran to the last American soldier and the last American taxpayer dollar, shifting the burden of its delusions onto Iran, the region, and the United States itself in pursuit of illegitimate interests? Is America First truly among the priorities of the U.S. government today? I invite you to look beyond the machinery of misinformation, an integral part of this aggression, and instead speak with those who have visited Iran. Observe the many accomplished Iranian immigrants educated in Iran who now teach and conduct research at the world's most prestigious universities or contribute to the most advanced technology firms in the West. Do these realities align with the distortions you're being told about Iran and its people? Today, the world stands at crossroads. Continuing along the path of confrontation is more costly and futile than ever before. The choice between confrontation and engagement is both real and consequential. Its outcome will shape the future for generations to come. Throughout its millennia of proud history, Iran has outlasted many aggressors. All that remains of them are tarnished names in history, while Iran endures resilient, dignified, and proud. That's leadership. The Iranians have tried at every fucking turn to avoid unnecessary loss of life and to solve problems sustainably and diplomatically. And he is posing questions to you. Who does this serve? Does this serve the American people? Is what you know of Iranians consistent with what you're being fed? Has Iran's track record, their ability to do harm to their neighbors and the fact that they never have, does that comport with a fucking actual threat to anyone? They have strategically and militarily been dominant over the people in the region for a very long time and have never initiated a war. And we're being told that they were an imminent threat. And he's telling you, don't take my word for it, just think about it. Just think about it.
Iran just released a letter to the United States civilians basically saying put up or shut up. They released a letter to us basically exposing everything that the United States president and the executive branch is lying about. And they basically said, we're not your enemy. Iran wrote that letter because whatever comes next, if we don't stop it, they're not responsible for. Iran just wrote a letter to the United States civilians the way that Osama bin Laden wrote a letter in 2002 and 2009. And Osama bin Laden wrote a letter to the American people saying why he was attacking and doing 9/11. It was because of Palestine. Not because of just Israel, but because of the United States actions in Palestine. 9/11 had to do with a CIA agent that went rogue because he saw exactly what he wasn't taught. The lie. And as somebody that studied outside of the United States of America in South Africa and England, the lie is that they're telling you the truth. Iran just gave us our last warning. And I need to figure out what the fuck to do about it. Or they're gonna hit soil.
I don't know how many times this orange-headed beast lied. He lied so damn much I could not keep up. One, he said that there was actual talks between him and Iran. There are no fucking talks. And the regime changes happened after y'all assassinated their leaders. Two, he said he's taking out their Navy, their Air Force. They barely got anything. If they barely got anything, why the fuck are they taking out Israel left and right? Inflation is not down. It's almost at 4%. Economy is not booming. It's barely making it. We are steady at the moment. Employment is between 4.4 and 4.6. Low hire and we gonna fire. Gas is around $4 a goddamn gallon. None of our allies are coming to our rescue. He lied on service members, family members, talking about they told him to finish the job. They did not say that shit. All he did was try to boast about himself and how great he was doing and how great he did at removing Obama's trading deal with Iran. He also lied about Iran being the ones that attacked first. When it came to Wix R Us bragging about those B-2 bombers he did last year, baby, we didn't hit shit. They confirmed it. Strait of Hormuz still belongs to Iran. They still popping off on everybody and mama. We don't have a ceasefire deal. There are no communications. And our economy is suffering for it. And we're losing service members because of it. And all that motherfucker can do out there is just brag about what he's done. He's done nothing. He's a fucking idiot. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
President of Iran just released something called a letter to the American people, directly to citizens in the United States, not to leadership, not through diplomats, straight to the public. Now, here's why that is so important. In the United States, the public has the influence. Just think about it like this. If enough people start questioning what's actually going on, they start talking about it, pushing back. So instead of just trying to change the government directly, you influence the people and let the people influence the government. And the big part of this is narrative control, because right now, both sides are trying to shape how this situation is being understood. If we as Americans only hear one side, then support usually follows that side. A message like this comes out. Now people start questioning. Now there's another perspective in the mix. I don't know about to y'all, but to me, that matters. Now, if you want to go deeper into this, when a foreign leader names something a letter to the American people, that's not just communication, that's positioning. What he's saying is, I'm not talking to your government no more. I'm talking straight to you. That should tell you that this ain't just about some military power. It's about influence. is about perception, about shifting pressure without direct confrontation. Don't just read the message if you can search for it and find it. Look at the moves.
Mi gente, how are you doing? Well, I'm just chilling tonight, but I know you guys are always concerned about Benjamin. Before I start my political rant, right? I just want to update mi gente, my community, that he is doing. Every day is a challenge. Some days are good, some days are bad. We're still finding out information here and there as they continue to check him and make sure that everything is working the way it should be. You know, we continue to find out how extensive, how far those strokes went, right? So just keep him in your prayers. You're probably not going to see him on here for a while. And I would never do that to him, not for clicks and likes. So just know that I am taking care of him, that he is working really hard to recover. Some days are good, some days are bad. Now, let me get to my open letter to the American people by the Iranian president. And I'm just going to sum it up. Basically, he said to the right, to MAGA, to fucking Republicans, the Republican Party, right? This is basically what he says. You're being fucking misled by your fucking government. Open your fucking eyes. You're being lied to every day. And if you want to know the latest lie that he told, he says that Iran is begging for a ceasefire, and Iran comes back and checks his ass and says, no, we're not. We're in this for the long haul. Iran has never initiated war. If you go through your history, right? They've always reacted. And this is not the first time the American government has meddled in Iranian affairs. I don't know if you guys know this, but back in 1952, they meddled in their political structure and took them from moving towards a democracy and brought them back into a dictatorship. So Iran is a little bit fucking bitter. But while you thought you were suppressing them, Iran says they've grown 30%. We all know that they have the oil and they're strategically positioned. And they're saying they're in it. And as long as the United States continues to go after them, they will continue to defend themselves. And so he is begging the American people, does this war benefit you? As our economy and our gas prices are going up, I just want you to know that this is going to cost us trillions. We're already into the billions a day. And it's just rising. It's a conflict that involves 17 fucking nations and is growing. This does not benefit us. But you know who it does benefit? Who does it benefit that's over there? Remember they were trying to make that strip? Remember that? Remember that strip? That's who it benefits the most. Because those are the ones that are saying that Iran is this big threat. But there's no history of it. Now don't get me wrong. Right? We're going to have terrorists always. From Iraq. I mean, we're going to have them from everywhere. But at the end of the day, wake the fuck up. The world is telling you to wake up. Take Iran out of this motherfucker. The world is telling you to wake up. And Republican Party, MAGA, you are destroying our fucking country. You are destroying our country. You're destroying our reputation. You are destroying the position that we had in the fucking world. And it's only getting worse by the day. I paid $5 per gas the other day. And if any fucking body wants me to give them the numbers from when Biden was president, I will fucking gladly do so because I still fucking have them. I challenge you. We're already $39 trillion in debt to other countries, China being one of them. But I digress. Yeah, have a great evening.
Here's a message from somebody in Iran. They're reaching out to people who have platforms and who can speak for them. So I'm going to read y'all this letter. If you got time, just take some time to listen. So, we are not our government. We are not the ones asking for war. But we are the ones who will pay for it. When bombs drop, they do not ask who we voted for. They don't ask if we support the regime. They hit homes, they hit dreams, they hit real people. To the American people, you have a voice, you have a power. Speak louder than your politicians. We are not asking you to fight for us. We only ask that you see us as humans. We are living under sanctions, I can't make out this word, but we are living under silence. Some of us haven't tasted freedom in decades, but we are still human. We love, we build, we pray, we bleed, just like you do. Please do not let your media make us out to be monsters. Not let your government tell you who we are. Find out for yourselves. We are not a part of this war. We are victims of it. From Iran to America, please let love rise louder than fear. And let the truth speak louder than your news.
Hello and welcome back, guys. I hope you have heard the comments from the letter from these black Americans. This letter was sent directly to the American citizen. It touches the public, not the government, not the politician, the ordinary citizen. I myself don't know if this letter is genuine, but what I know, it has sparked a lot of outrage everywhere, in the public and online. So, Iranian President Masoud posted an open letter to that shows that Iran does not hold any enmity with the American public, and also it doesn't hold any hostility with the public. It loves them, but the problem that Iran has is one person who is making things complicated, and that is the US president himself. Iran knows and loves the black America. It knows their struggles. It knows they are hard. They know they are being oppressed and have suffered a lot. But they know their deep relationships and history with the black American, which goes back, way back in 1970s when they released the hostages. This shows lack of enmity with the blacks, but again, this letter went directly to the citizens. This shows like Iran wants to use the citizen to attack the government because they want the public to be on their side. The letter shows that the black Americans are safe from this war. You can see like the blacks are siding with Iran, and Iran is seen to be on the side of the citizens. You can now see that Trump is the only one on his side. He is seen as the one meddling with the Iranian affairs. You can also see how good the MAGA people have reacted to this. So they have supported Iran, saying that Trump stole this war because they see the consequences of this war. That's why they are telling Trump to concentrate with the matters affecting Americans. We also saw them reacting that America lost this war way before it started. You can see that the citizen does not have anything against Iran. When the president held the press, they expected him to react to the letter. The citizen expected him to address and alert them about the war, but he ended up being not sure. That is why a majority of Americans are tired with this administration. You see, every day you wake up, the generals are resigning from office. What is not happening? Maybe they think this war is not meant for them. For the Americans, from the American perception, from these Americans, they are entering a war that was not meant for them. And that is That's why this reaction is really hitting the waves. Trump is alone. He is fighting the war alone, and make majority of Americans are sure Trump is not winning this war anytime or in any way. That's a fact. In their opinion, the American government has failed. Nothing is working. Obamacare is not working. The only thing that is working is deportation and going after other nations. Even the MAGA people are complaining that he is killing many dreams. The healthcare sector, education, economy is suffering. It's flat. All he does is boast about himself. And America is a land of opportunities, but to the MAGA people, this is the consequences of voting with emotions. Please, because this is the result of voting with emotions. So guys, please, I want to hear from you. Go into this comment section, drop your thoughts. I'll be glad to know your thoughts. I'm your host, Ida Moons. See you next